California was a model for the entire world, and it was the precursor of what made our entire country so great, and it was a middle class paradise. That was the great achievement of the United States of America after World War II, particularly in the 50s. You had a gigantic, prosperous middle class, unlike these dying European countries, unlike Caudillo Latin American countries, where you have a very, very, very tiny, rich top layer, and everybody else is their servants, and they're living in shacks, and they are not doing so well. I've always noticed, I'm sure you've heard this too, the image of the ugly American traveling to Europe, and, the fat slob with his wife, and he's so bossy. And my argument for how the ugly American stereotype arose was most of the foreigners we meet here in America, until we started bringing in the poorest of the poor, but the ones who are traveling here for vacation, those tend to be very upper crust members of their own society. Not in this country. All Americans went to Europe. All Americans lived in households where wives didn't have to work. The husband made enough money. That used to be a bragging point, that the husband made enough money that the wife didn't have to work. Now you only see that on Park Avenue and Nob Hill, the finest areas of every city. No, now wives have to work so the family can afford to move away from the crime, to move away from the crazy schools, to move to a neighborhood where their kids aren't going to get mugged on the way to school. And California was that middle class paradise of a very, very affluent and gigantic middle class. Now, California seems to have declared war on normal people.
It's Trump all the way. No one is voting for him because of the insults. No one is voting for him because he was a reality TV star. It's because of immigration. That's the number one issue. Americans have been begging their leaders, please stop. Stop. You're killing wages. You're killing our neighborhoods. And all the fancy people, the consultants and the people running the media in New York, they're not the ones being burdened by these swollen waves of third world immigrants pouring into the country. It is heavily the working class, black teenagers. Their unemployment rate is through the roof. Well, who's taking those jobs? Illegal immigrants. So Americans have been asking for this for a long time. And the other aspect of that Trump's candidacy is really exposing, like I never thought could get exposed, is how every other one of these Republicans cannot take the pro-American position because their donors don't want it. That's it. They are completely beholden to elites who do not care about America, don't care about historic America, don't care about traditional America. No, the rich are like locusts. They will just come into a country, eat it dry, and what does a rich person care about America? They're going to move off to an island. And these Republican consultants and Republicans in Washington generally, they're perfectly happy being the Washington generals. They know how it works. We're going to do the same thing every year. We're going to be good losers. I'm going to take home a fine income. I'll be able to pay for my kids' college. Woe is Trump exposing them. If you give me 20-to-1 odds, I'm betting Trump. The fact that he is so high in the polls and has been this high in the polls for this long, this is not a flash in the pan. A flash in the pan is, oh, this person seems nice. Let's all be for him this week. And then you hear him talk. No, we've heard Trump talk, and he just keeps going up in the polls. And the intensity with Trump is like nothing I've seen since I was a little kid and Reagan was running. And I've gone back and looked at what people were saying at the time about Reagan, and they were saying this is America's last shot after 4 years of Jimmy Carter. And there is that sense among a lot of Trump supporters, and I'm one of them. I think this is America's last shot because the elites are about to win and are about to transform our country into just another Mexico.